Good morning, everybody.
Hi, Jan. Welcome, everyone. Yeah, on a practical level, just the things that have come across my desk lately has been there's a huge court case in South Africa that is happening. Have you heard about it, Lorian? Fantastic, yeah. And in Australia too, there's a number of court cases going on, and so far it's interesting. It's looking like these court cases take a long time always, but it's so far it's looking good. And in New South Wales, the head of the police just announced that the police will not be enforcing the latest rules and regulations that have been put out. So some things are beginning to shift, which is fantastic. Yeah. And the Premier of New South Wales just resigned because it's not quite clear yet what, but apparently they're investigating her. So there is movements. Please, Pramanjali. Feel free. And some places in the world are still quite mellow, I could say, like that, in terms of what's going down.
Which place is actually, Isaac?
Mexico is quite good. Costa Rica is still good. I think South Africa is, it's, yeah. That court case sounds very interesting in South Africa. It's a major one. Sylvie, please go for it.
Hi, Isaac.
Hey, Sylvie.
My question is, do you have a feeling about how we can turn this all around? Do you think there will be lawsuits that will be win? How do you say it? Will be winning, or just people standing up and fight? Or do you have a feeling about that?
Look, to me, it makes sense. There are huge protests happening around the world. I mean, I heard in Holland that were 25,000 people at the last protest.
Oh, so, no, a lot more.
A lot more even.
A lot more, yeah.
People are standing up. It's hard to know with the court cases because there's so much money being thrown at this whole agenda. So whether there's corruption in the courts or not, it's very hard to say.
Yeah.
But there are politicians that are kind of standing up and really questioning what's going on. Rand Paul is one of them in America. But there are people in Australia too that are speaking about how crazy what's going on is, and
Yeah.
so I think that, you know, like people, everyone finds what suits them in terms of how to express. You know, some people like to go to those, feel drawn, to go to those protests, and other people are passing information around with each other, and yeah, keep telling the truth as best as you can, wherever you can.
Yeah, I see these people standing up, and I think in Amsterdam there were about 200,000 people. And
Fantastic.
yeah, fantastic. But it is fantastic, but it's not changing anything, I guess.
You know, I guess if you look at Gandhi or any of, it's like it doesn't happen with one or two, it happens, you know, usually over time. It does take time. I mean, if I speak about South Africa with, you know, Mandela standing up and spending 30 years in prison before something shifted there.
Yeah.
But it's like, yeah. There's, you know, the amount of corruption worldwide is huge. It's just, and so. Yeah.
And also controlled opposition.
Yeah. I mean, you know, it is. There are little wins happening. There are amazing people standing up, and there are good things happening at the same time. You know, courageous people, and you know, the big thing that I see is that it's not going into making anything wrong, if possible. It's like really. I love the elders when this meeting I went to on Sunday. The Aboriginal elders are just saying, listen, don't spit at the police, don't curse them. And at that the last big rally here, the police were hugging the people that were involved. So it was quite amazing. It's like there's these little miracles happening in it all. But then you go in Melbourne and they're shooting rubber bullets at
I saw
people
it
and tear
in
gas.
Australia.
I mean, it's unbelievable. And yet it doesn't stop people. They still show up. And
okay, thank you.
yeah, thank you. I mean, it's interesting to, you know, to watch when overwhelm wants to come up or despair wants to come up, and start to gently be present there, you know, because it's not just you, it's like it's happening in the field very strongly, and just to be okay, yes, holding all those hearts that are confused, and yeah. Lucy. Hi.
Let me pin you. Yeah, thank you for this opportunity. I think until the most recent measures here in the Netherlands, where all measures were lifted, so to speak, but now there is really a situation of division, where division,
Yeah.
apartheid,
Hmm.
where I am not welcome in many places.
Yeah.
And so until that point, I was still sort of in the middle, like, okay, I have a very strong feeling about this, but you know, this can't be true. This evil can't be true. I refuse to believe it. Like I want to stay in the middle. And now I cannot stay in the middle anymore.
Yeah. Yeah.
And yeah, what makes it painful for me personally is, you know, I don't mind not going to the cinema or to a bar, or who cares. But I have a 16-year-old, and he is now facing that he cannot go on a field trip or have a coffee.
In a lot of places, they can't go to school.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And so it feels like a big responsibility, because in a way I make this choice for my child. And you know, he is bright, and he also feels like, no, I don't want that shot. No, this is wrong.
Yeah.
But the consequences for young people, I find
It's
that
huge.
so heartbreaking.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, and the thing is, the best that you can do is just let him know that you understand it's not easy for him.
Yeah.
And that you admire his resilience and his willingness to be sensible and to trust his unknowing, and support him in it. And because, you know, it's like historically there's been invasions and wars and every kind of thing, and you know, people have had to go through lean times and like that. And it's like when we hold each other's hands and we don't commiserate or like that, it just is what it is. It is like this now, and it will change. We don't know how long it'll take, but it is like this for the next little while. We know that. And then we're here and we're holding each other's hands. I mean, it is like it is. It's, you know, when I think of, you know, like for young kids going to school with masks on and not going to, I mean, and all the fear that's been put into them. And it's like, and, you know, and a lot, it's just, it is criminal in my view. You know, it's, and, but at the same time, I can see it's just like, it's somehow totality is doing this interesting thing, and who knows if it's supposed to wake everybody up or destroy us as a species. I don't know, but it is what's happening, and how to be at peace in the midst of this. It just,
Yeah, it's extremely powerful what is happening.
yeah, no doubt. I saw a letter from a nurse today. She said, you know, she's been working for more than 30 years and, you know, like in in critical care, you could say like that, and just saying, look, you know, you were okay when I held your hand and did this and this and this and this, and now you're okay with me not being able to go to work unless I get a vaccination. You know, just where are your values? You know, it's just like heartbreaking.
I'm so flabbergasted really by how this is framed and how the general public is willing. I mean, I read things like, okay, if you don't want to get the vaccine, then you should also refuse your bed in the intensive care.
You know,
It's
I mean, it's complete nonsense. The bottom line, though, is there are protocols, and if you know about them and you take care of yourself, you'll never need to go to the hospital.
exactly.
The number of people, but so that's the bottom line. But the thing is, there's just so many lies being told, and there's, you know, like this, what is working is being suppressed, and doctors that actually want to do what they know helps people are being, you know, losing their licenses. I mean, it's absolutely crazy times. It's
but
and then false information put out about, like, you know, that ivermectin can kill you. It's one of the safest drugs that's ever been around, and it just, there's so much bullshit out there.
But how it's shocking to me how the majority of people is willing to frame other people like that. I mean, this is maybe too far, but this does remind you of the 40s.
Any dictatorship goes through the same story. They get people to tell on their neighbors and all this crap. It's like, it's frightening. And to see how quickly people will go along with that.
And then how voicing that is dismissed, like you're insane comparing this to the to Nazism. Yeah.
You know, I think for many of us, we see that there is an intention to get rid of a lot of people, much more people than died in the Second World War. So this is actually much worse than what happened during Hitler and Stalin and Mao Zedong's time, much worse, because it's many, many, many more people. I mean, just on an information level, I just saw a video by a doctor, and I mean, I've seen these people that do live blood cell analysis, where they take the slide of a person's blood who's had the vaccine, and the blood looks terrible. I mean, it really looks unhealthy. But this doctor, he had a patient who he'd been treating for a while and who he'd helped from being quite sick to come back to really healthy. All his markers, when he did a regular blood test, measuring your cholesterol, all the stuff in the blood, were all in the zone and good. And then this guy, because he was threatened with losing his job, decided to get the vaccine. And so he had the possibility of getting more blood tests done. And all his markers went terrible. And after the first one, and then after the second one, from the markers, he could see that his immune system was absolutely shot. And the guy didn't, you know, the difficulty with it is you don't know it until your system actually has to deal with the threat to it. And so, you know, on the surface, he feels okay, but by his markers, this doctor can see that his immune system is completely destroyed. And so the first challenge that his immune system has, he's going to be very sick, including, you know, like from the blood tests, you could see it's just, you know, much more susceptible to cancers, to all kinds of, So he said it's like similar to the blood of someone who has HIV because the immune system is completely suppressed. So that's kind of what we're dealing with, people that feel okay on the surface. And we know also now from the data that the people that are actually getting sick with COVID, I mean, people that the vaccine doesn't stop you from getting COVID, and it doesn't stop you from spreading COVID. And in fact, the difficulty is you might feel okay, and so go out and spread because you're not, like normally when you feel sick, you don't go out, you stay home and you take care. But the people that have had the vaccine are becoming super spreaders.
Yeah.
And it's crazy. It's just, and then you see like, there's a really interesting interview with Dr. Robert Malone, who is credited with developing mRNA technology, and Gert van der Bosch, who was a senior person at Pfizer. And they were discussing why vaccinating into a pandemic is, from a science point of view, is completely the wrong move. And why we are seeing the results that we're seeing scientifically. It was amazing to see. And these guys are not listened to. They just completely dismissed.
Yeah, it's so amazing how every official news source just voices the same stuff.
Yeah.
Never a critical journalist, never a critical scientist.
No. Anyone that does is blocked. That's the trouble.
Yeah.
Facebook, Twitter, so, there are people that are speaking up, but now even Robert Kennedy's sites have been taken down, and
yeah, and all of these people are being discredited and put away like crazy people.
Yeah.
Well, it's very brilliant, I would say, this whole scheme.
It is a well-planned scheme, and
Yeah.
Somehow it's happening on our watch, and so all of us are here, and then being as present as we can and as loving a way as possible, and keeping on inviting too.
Yeah, I feel anger in myself and righteousness at times. And then I take it back because that's not what I want to send out. And and then
I think we're
come
all in the
back,
same boat there.
to the point where I see, I don't know if it's right for this person to get vaccinated. I really don't. I wish they didn't, but I don't know if it's right for them.
But what's starting to happen too now is that people that have been vaccinated are joining together with people that aren't about this apartheid. And that is something that's beautiful. So.
And they are already here. They are speaking of the third shot, and then of course the fourth. And I know many people that did get 2 shots, but now are saying like, hey, come on, this is enough. This is not what I signed up for. So but then in the numbers that they try us to believe, it's like 85% of all adults are vaccinated. And I think that's simply not true. So they are telling us that everybody is on board, but they are not.
It's not true. No, they're lying.
Yeah.
It's interesting to look at the psychology, because I have one of my land partners here. He's he's been vaccinated, and he's very pro-vax. And a few days ago, he was rushed to hospital because he needed a stent because he was going to have a heart attack. And at that point, he said, oh, this is probably from the vax. And his partner is not into it. And she said, yes, it's probably from the vax. And then his response was, oh, I must be one of the very few unlucky ones. Because there's no reporting of,
No.
but that's how convicted these people are. They believe that, you know, it's like the numbers, but it's not true. That we've been lied to big time.
Yeah.
And, yeah. Some people see it, some people don't. Yeah. But it is a time for having, I could say, Sangha people that are in the same boat, that see clearly, and that we hold each other's hands, and we have a sense of community together. So to me, that's really important at this time, in my view anyway.
I don't know much about it, but Jehovah had this vision of the saved ones on the mountain. Maybe that's us. Yeah, I'm very grateful for this meeting, because in my normal day-to-day life, most people are in the other boat. So it can feel lonely at times, and sometimes I'm even doubting myself, even though I mean I don't have all the rational reasoning, but I deeply know that this is not right. So yeah.
You know, I mean, in my view, what will happen relatively soon is that all these people with compromised immune systems are going to start getting sick. And at first it's going to be spun that it's because of the unvaccinated people.
Yeah, it's our fault.
It's our fault. But at some point it won't be able to be hidden anymore. There'll be too many. And I think we're fast getting to that point now. So we'll see. I mean, that's just an educated guess, but I really know that
it's tragic, but
yeah.
I hope so. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Thank you, Isaac.
Yeah, thanks.
Good to see you.
Yeah, good to see you too.
Oh, and yeah, I haven't been around for a while. I guess your health issues are all sorted, right? Or I hope so.
You know, I honestly don't know. I don't know what caused it, and at the moment I feel great. But I've stopped drinking coffee, and I've started exercising, and so I have no idea. Yeah.
Good.
I'm not concerned though. I mean, that you know, enough, and it's not even out of concern. It just makes sense to me to really get a little bit more fit and to really take care. I'm eating keto these days too, just really trying to.
Good.
Having fun. Yeah, we're just coming on summer again. So.
Coming this way.
No,
Oh, you mean,
in
yeah,
Australia.
you,
Yeah.
oh, no, I thought, oh, woo, you'll be here next summer, but.
Yeah, it's still at this point, we're not,
No.
very few people are allowed out of Australia, very few. You've got to apply a number of times and have really good reasons. And then when you come back, you have to do 2 weeks quarantine in a hotel and pay for the hotel and for all your food being delivered. And you're not allowed to open a window in the hotel, nothing. It's pretty brutal.
Well, thank God for Zoom.
Yeah, true. And just let's take a moment to wish everybody well. May all beings be happy. May all beings be at peace. Just staying true to our heart prayer. It's like powerful. Miriam, please.
Hi, do you hear me?
Yes, perfect.
Oh, great. Oh, I love it that we're together like this. And I was at a big demonstration in Amsterdam this Sunday. And I like to share how it was, because what I noticed is that it's really nice to be together with all those people, just be together like here. It's doing some, it's so good for the vibe, and everybody was so, like in the Sangha, it was really like
We're not alone, yeah.
We're not alone, and it was not everybody, it was very dignified, really like in silence. There were no words necessary, and it was really like powerful, very, very powerful. And I think that's why they try to keep us apart, because they know if we come together, something is happening to the field. And if we recognize that again, nobody can get you, you getting your knowing again, and everybody recognize what it is to be human and be here. And that's very important for me, and to be together and not feel alone as well, as what you said. So
it's wonderful how you speak it. Thank you for sharing it with us all.
Yeah. So it's all very, it has a function, and it's, you can trust it. And if you, sometimes I was afraid last week, I was sick all week because of the new laws in Holland. So I can't go into the bars and stuff, and I was really sick, and I didn't know, am I sick because I'm sick? Because I had really pain in my stomach, and I was completely, everything was black.
I understand, yeah.
And I think it was a combination of the feeling, what was happening, and the unjust, and all the emotions of friends not standing up for me. Some good friends of mine, I didn't hear anything from them since then. So it's really awkward between people, and so I was very disappointed in some people, and very angry as well last week. So So I went through all the roller coasters, and now I'm more like, okay, that's the game they're playing. And
You know what
I'm,
might be helpful, Miriam?
mhm,
Just what we've explored in the meetings is that when people are looking through filters
mhm,
and the system functions automatically and unconsciously, it's not them. It's their old conditioning and their old information in their system
mhm.
and their old trauma load that is functioning. It's not them. And not to confuse, it just is, if you really see that clearly, like the
Yeah.
behaviors that come from that automatic unconscious information. And if you just see it like that, and then compassion naturally arises and judgment doesn't arise, it still might hurt, but
Mhm.
it doesn't go into